And then God said, let there be football. Woo!
I love it.
We are back, baby. Football is back. And when I say football, I mean football that counts towards wins and losses, not preseason. We are back. We are in business. Whew, I feel like
that was your best open ever.
Was it better than Hump Day?
Oh, anything's better than Hump Day. That was phenomenal.
Listen.
You might win a sports Emmy off of that open.
Okay.
The best open. That was really good.
I feel like it's been a very long time without. Oh my god. Okay. There we go.
Move your mic up. Move your mic up.
I felt like it's been a really long time since football has been on our screens. When I say football, I mean football that counts towards wins and losses. It's exciting. Chiefs Lions tonight. We have some news we're gonna break down. Travis Kelce is still questionable, but leaning more towards unlikely.
Hold on. I gotta do this. I'm sorry
what?
The open was phenomenal.
What? I'm bringing it down.
Football. Yeah, I saw how you tried to bring it down.
Yeah.
You're Dan Campbell.
Dan
Campbell. I'm gonna bite the kneecaps off. Football.
Chill out.
It's football season. Your microphone's over here to the left.
But you saw how they still heard me though, right? That's called, what is that called in journalism school? Projection.
I that because that might show up on my keys to victory for
Dan
the
Campbell?
Lions, right? Yeah, like you got to take a deep breath. Like you're excited.
I did take a deep breath and now I'm calm. We got the sage
Here we
going.
go.
Let me bring
Here
it
we
closer to me. Maybe that's why I can't smell it.
go.
Okay, here we are. We have a lot to break down in the football world. If we can get into it a little bit later on the show, we also have some basketball news that's pretty cool and I'm sure we'll have some fun with. But let's dive right into it. We have a jam-packed show today, so let's not wait any longer. Nick Bosa, he just got the big bag. He is PAID paid. The 49ers and all-pro edge Nick Bosa have agreed to terms on a massive new contract, and this happened yesterday afternoon. Nick Bosa's new deal is worth $34 million. That now eclipses Aaron Donald's $31 million, and it now makes him the highest paid defensive player in NFL history. Now, this is interesting because we did speak about Nick Bosa yesterday for a few reasons. Diana Rossini did report that there was a big bag, a big contract on the table for Nick Bosa. Clearly there was. But also we spoke about him because he was not at the 49ers facility yesterday because he was still in his contract holdout.
Or maybe he was at the bank.
Or maybe he was at the bank.
We just didn't know it.
Maybe he was at Louis Vuitton. I don't know. Maybe he was somewhere.
You were at Louis Vuitton. I saw your Instagram.
That was Burberry. Relax.
Same thing.
Whoa, no, not. But yeah, so Nick Bosa, the 49ers, all is well in the 49ers world in the Bay Area. I mean, Brandon, this is a big deal. Nick Bosa is a huge part of the 49ers, that defense.
Yeah.
What do you make of this? What does this mean for the 49ers moving forward?
Nick Bosa actually played the perfect hand. He had a royal flush. For all my card players out there, poker fans, the royal flush is the best hand that you can have. And he was in the perfect position. He knew he had all the leverage. He knew he knows the 49ers situation as far as it's a win now situation, right? Because in the next year or two, you got to go pay a quarterback. You got to pay other guys. And now you're going to look at, the Rams and say, shit, they were in rebuild. Now we're in rebuild. So if you're in a win now situation and you're in not only the best player on your team, but potentially one of the best players, top 5 players in the NFL, you got to have them. Right? You cannot open the season without a Nick Bosa out there and ready to go. So Nick Bosa played his hand perfectly. He was patient. Sometimes in poker, Ashley, when you have, pocket aces or pocket kings and you have the lead, you have the advantage. When you start smiling, when you start showing your hands and your cards a little too soon, you mess up. And as athletes, we do that all the time, right? It's like we're not patient with it. We don't go through the flow. We don't go through the process. And he said when he came in camp, back in June, mini camp, he said, I'm going to be patient. And he was. And look, there was games being played on both sides. Someone, in the organization or close to the organization told me that he was asking for $40 million a year. That's quarterback money. That's Daniel Jones money.
That's big money.
They weren't going to give him that, especially when you got Aaron Donald sitting at 32. And then there was, games being played on the 49ers side. And if you look at the 49ers, and sorry I'm going too deep here, this is just news of the day, but when you look at the 49ers, they did this with George Kittle, they did this with Deebo Samuels, they did this with all the guys, Warren, their linebacker, all the guys they had to pay, they either waited to training camp or right after training camp, right? So this is how John Lynch and Shanahan plays it. So, Nick Bosa, shout out to him. And not only him, but also the whole family. It meant Joey Bosa. He beat his brother for the most guaranteed on the defensive side. His brother had 100, and now he's 120 or something.
It is interesting though that you mentioned how he played his cards in this situation, because Chris Jones spoke yesterday. I believe he was doing some sort of charity work in the Kansas City area, and they were asking him about his contract holdout, and he also is not reporting to Kansas City facilities and staying away from the team. And they asked him about it, and he said, well, I could have done a contract hold in, but that would be more distracting. So it's interesting because we always talk about, the difference between a holdout and a hold in. You're somebody who likes to go ahead and say which situation is better depending on the athlete, depending on the situation. And Chris Jones was like, a hold in would be more distracting. I'm not trying to be a distraction to my team. I just want my money. So now that, obviously it's apples to oranges in some way, shape, or form, but I think that it's fair to say in comparison that Nick Bosa means to the 49ers defense what Chris Jones means to the Kansas City defense. I feel like that's a fair comparison, would you say? They're both the best players on their respective defenses.
Yes, but it's a totally different situation. Why? Because Nick Bosa is the best player on his team.
Okay.
Right?
Deebo may have some smoke for you for that.
Nick Bosa, Deebo Samuels is good.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Bosa is the best player on his team. We're talking about the last 2 years, 18.5 sacks last year. The year before, 15.5 sacks. His second year in the league, he did not play. He was hurt. In his first year, he had 9. So we're talking about a guy that has 43 sacks or something like that in the first 4 years. This is on par with, the top Hall of Fame guys, the guys who are enshrined in Canton. So he is the best person on that team. But then you look at the Chiefs, Ashley, it's Patrick Mahomes. So it's almost like that New England Patriot, Bill Belichick era where it's like, as long as I got Patty Mahomes, everybody else is dispendable. It doesn't matter. Wes Welker, Randy Moss, Richard Seymour, Asante Samuels, doesn't matter.
Well, let's just look at it. Let's just simplify it. I hear what you're saying. I don't disagree with you in terms of it's different because Patrick Mahomes is on the Chiefs. He's the best player. And then Nick Bosa, best player on the 49ers. But just simplifying it and talking strictly defense to defense, they're both the best players on that defense, on their respective defense. So you would think, seeing now that Nick Bosa has gotten paid, does this give Chris Jones any leverage with the Kansas City Chiefs to get his deal done? Not obviously the same money.
Yes.
But does it get him leverage to get his deal done and maybe return way before week 8, like he said he's willing to hold out until?
Yes, absolutely, right? Well, no, because I think, no.
It doesn't give him leverage.
It doesn't, right?
Okay.
It's almost like Daniel Jones, and I'm not comparing Daniel Jones to Chris Jones. Chris Jones is by far the more solidified player, the better player, okay? But Daniel Jones going into negotiations, I hope he wasn't asking for no Aaron Rodgers money. Aaron Rodgers was due to make $60 million.
He may not have been, but you don't know what his agent was asking for. You don't know what his agent was asking for. The number that
obviously they wasn't asking for no Lamar Jackson, no Jalen Hurts, no Justin Herbert money because he was not even close. So
but you and I both know, Brandon, hold on before you finish your thought. You and I both know the number you end at is not the number you start at. He started a lot higher.
For sure. For sure. But I say that because Chris, this shouldn't have no type of effect on their negotiations in Kansas City with Chris Jones. Why? Because Chris Jones is a phenomenal player. He's a dog. He's the best player on that team. He's one of the top 25 players in the NFL.
Yes.
Okay? But then when you have Aaron Donald, right, that you're comparing yourself to, and then a Nick Bosa, it's a different ballgame. So they're in their own stratosphere. So now you're looking at, okay, well, if Aaron Donald is at, is it 31? If Aaron Donald's at 31 million, can I get 28? Can I get 29? So now, if Aaron Donald was actually at the table right now, if he won a new contract, but he just got one, then this would affect him, right? Because Aaron Donald can go out there and say, well, y'all just pay him 33. And I'm the best defensive player ever. And obviously the best defensive player active right now. So I need 34, 35. So, I'm glad that it got done, Ashley.
Yeah.
Because I want to see good football. I think the San Francisco 49ers are fun. I think Brock Purdy is fun. I think Coach Shanahan is fun. But let's not forget this, because we talk about Coach Shanahan when we talk about the 49ers. And this is why this was so important. Coach Shanahan, his offense, how creative he is. That's not why they've been dominating over the last 4 years. They've been really good and contenders over the last 4 years because they got great defense. Their defense last year, they only gave up 16 points a game. The year before that, 19 points a game. Then 22, then 24. That's what we got to understand. And that's why Nick Bosa got the money that he got.
Well, on the note of the 49ers,
hold on a
second. Keon, did you steal my pillow?
Am I too hype right now?
Yes, Keon stole my pillow, guys. Keon comes to the studio and just shows up with his little headset and steals my back pillow.
Like you went over, Keon, did you go over to her desk and did you pick it up or was it already over there?
He wants to be me so he wants to be me so bad. He wants to be me so bad that he's resorted to
Ashley,
stealing my pillows.
Ashley, you be so extra.
Is nothing sacred anymore. Pillows? That's crazy.
Yo,
anyway,
watch. I just want y'all to know, everybody out there rocking with us today in the chat, your girl Ashley is extra. We saw that, with this whole thing about the Super Bowl and her and JP tried to say that I was being extra. You extra.
No, you're bougie.
Duh, you ain't. What are you? You're bougie.
I'm bougie.
I wish you had Keon's face.
Why am I bougie? How am I bougie, Keon? In which way, shape, or I'm more bougie than Brandon?
100% guaranteed.
Yes.
That is insane.
Yes.
In what way am I more bougie than Brandon?
We need him to have a mic. I wish you had a mic.
Come over here and tell people in which way I'm more bougie than Brandon.
They can't hear you.
Come tell the people.
Oh my God.
This is Brandon Marshall, Ashley Nicole Moss, and then we have Keon, our shooter.
We're gonna get back to football in a second. We need to settle this debate.
Chiming in.
Ashley likes nice restaurants.
So does Brandon.
Ashley likes to travel.
So does Brandon.
Nice places.
So does Brandon.
Ashley comes.
Come on, bro. Come
drill
on.
out. Ashley, shout out to the Hermes necklace.
This is not Hermes. This is Van Cleef.
Hold on. Where's your glasses? This is it. Right now. Hold on. Where's your glasses?
They're in my baby Burberry.
Look. Her baby Burberry bag. Look at this. This is why you're bougie, Ashley.
Brandon, you have the same glasses.
This is Ashley Nicole Moss every day when she walks into the
Oh my
studio.
God. Brandon has the same exact glasses.
So
If you eat at Outback Steakhouse, I'll say you're not bougie.
I've eaten at Outback once.
Ashley,
I've
this
eaten
is
at
you every
Applebee's
day when you
before.
walk in.
Where? In college days?
This
In middle school.
Keon, let me see your bag. Give me your bag. This is Ashley every day she walks in. Oh, no. I'm not even going to do how she walks in every day. I'm going to do what she did today. Okay? I need a coffee. I need a coffee.
I do.
And the cream. What she say, Nikki? She said, I don't even know what the name of the creamer was.
It was International
She said, I need international this. I'm like, what? She said, yeah, Brandon doesn't even know what he's putting in his coffee.
You don't.
But this is what I need in my coffee. And I need it right now. Oh, my gosh. Yo, was that not Ashley?
Oh, my God. Okay, whatever. Brandon says that with a Rolex on his arm. Give me my bag.
Yeah.
And give me my Saint Laurent's.
Look, give my Saint Laurent's. That's how you bougie when you say Saint Laurent.
So
everybody in the chat, hey, listen, I'm with the people. The people, how we say Saint Laurent? Saint Laurent?
It's Saint Laurent. It's French.
Look, see, bougie.
Saint Laurent. Okay, back to football. Listen, the 49ers defense. Listen, it gave up a lot of points against the Philadelphia Eagles when they played in the Super Bowl. I believe it was at the half of over 20. So it's going to be interesting. Nick Bosa and that 49ers defense is going to have to go ahead and prove its worth. Nick Bosa is going to have to go ahead and earn that money, as they like to say. But speaking of money, let's talk about that salary cap situation, because it got a lot more interesting in San Francisco. Brock Purdy is now the lowest paid starting quarterback in the NFL. He's making a little bit over $930,000 a year. So is the NFL salary cap a myth, Brandon? Is it just something people like to tell us, but it doesn't actually exist?
No, it's not a myth. And there's always money, so there's always money available. They'll be able to figure this stuff out, but they try to use this, as leverage as owners. But this is why they're in position, right? And this is why I say they're in this small window, because they don't have to pay a quarterback right now. And so when you look at the Eagles, the Eagles made it to the Super Bowl with a quarterback on a rookie deal. The Cincinnati Bengals made it to the Super Bowl with a quarterback on a rookie deal. The Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes made it to their first Super Bowl with a quarterback on a rookie deal. And so, this is the formula. So once you do that, once you pay your quarterback, it makes it extremely hard to continue to go back. Now, why was Tom Brady and Bill Belichick able to do this? Because a lot of people say he kept taking these team-friendly deals, right? But then you have Peyton Manning, who's probably a more efficient as a passer, but he didn't have as much success, going to Super Bowls and the playoffs that Tom Brady did, because Peyton Manning was always one of the highest paid. Mm-hmm. They paid Russell Wilson, and then what ended up happening, right? So, a lot of people look at, this phase is okay, well, good defense. We got playmakers around. Our young quarterback is not at the top of the market. This works. And then once you pay, then everything implodes. Patrick Mahomes also, I would say this, one of the reasons why they're able to continue to play at a high level is because that was a team-friendly deal, right? He's $7 million underpaid. So, they're in this window right now, Ashley, the San Francisco 49ers, so they had no choice but to get this deal done.
Yeah, of course. Listen, Bosa has earned every single penny, and when I say that he has to earn that money, I mean, obviously he's already earned it in the sense of, showing the 49ers that he is worth this, but now he has to go ahead and keep up the play that got him that money. So that's what I meant by that. Let me clarify that. But I will say, Micah Parsons, Jerry, you better get that checkbook ready, because when it's time to pay Micah,
oh, that's interesting.
Micah's gonna get paid. So I hope that you start, doing your numbers, and you're adding and you're subtracting and you're multiplying and you're dividing, because Mike is coming for the bank when it's time for him to get paid. But
what is he going to get?
He's going to get a whole lot of cash. But
See, that's why it's going to get interesting in Dallas. But I know we got to move on. But that's it. That's interesting. Why you tease that? Why you do that? That could have been a great conversation.
We can touch upon that down the road.
Let's do that.
We got a whole football season to talk about this. But you know what? Speaking of football, speaking of quarterbacks, I don't think they have any love for Peyton Manning. What's going on with Peyton Manning and quarterbacks or lack thereof?
So obviously, this Netflix series, Quarterback, is a hit for a lot of people, a lot of the fans, because you're getting inside information, you're getting the inside scoop. You're literally going inside of these players' homes. So the first season, you had Kirk Cousins, you had the quarterback for the Falcons, what's his name? Marcus Mariota, right? So you're able to see that. As a fan, I love that. Oh, shoot, that's Kirk Cousins' crib. And what is this, a trap door? And that's where he keeps all of his memorabilia, this whole shrine.
I still haven't watched it.
But the problem is, it's a really good show. The people wanted to come back. Netflix wants it back. Omaha Production wants it because it was successful, but nobody wants to do it. So we've been talking about this and tracking this all off season, because you had Justin Fields say no. You had Dak Prescott say no. And quarterbacks continue to say no. Peyton Manning said just yesterday he had 3 quarterbacks say no. Starting quarterbacks say no.
3.
He's like, yo, if you actually do this, you might win the Super Bowl like Patrick Mahomes, because Patrick Mahomes did it last year as well.
Yeah.
So if Patrick Mahomes can do it, why can't you? So I get both sides of it, where it could potentially be a distraction, because that's what a lot of these quarterbacks are saying. Dak Prescott said that he's like, look, I already played for the Cowboys. We're getting all of this, exposure. I don't need any more. And so it's uncomfortable for a lot of quarterbacks. But if it worked for Patrick Mahomes, why can't it work for you?
Well, Peyton had this to say about it. He said, quote, "I'd love for someone to call us back and say, I want to do it. I had 3 starting quarterbacks tell me no yesterday, so I'm swallowing my pride. I think maybe guys are thinking it's going to be a distraction, even though I told a couple of them, I guarantee you'll win a Super Bowl like Mahomes if you do it." I think that you have a lot of guys not doing this because I will say this. I think that it's invasive. And what I mean by invasive is that you're entering their homes, you're seeing their routine. And I think that guys have become more protective of their routines, their personal spaces outside of the sport more than ever before for a multitude of reasons.
Right.
I think that the media can sometimes certain media entities can hit below the belt and dive into things that are outside of the realm of the game. I think that social media has made it so people feel like they are a lot more intertwined with an athlete's life than they actually are. There's home invasions going on. People are getting, robbed, licks are happening. People just want to keep their personal space personal, and they want to keep their personal routine personal. I think the best way to salvage this series is change positions. Like do a series of different positions. Like why not next season be wide receiver? Why not next season be tight end?
Well, because then it changes the series, right?
Why? I would like to see
Peyton
what Justin
Manning,
Jefferson's life is outside of the sport.
I guess it made sense. I hear what you're saying, but I guess it made sense for Peyton Manning in Omaha Productions because he's a quarterback, and it's like that's probably what he sold. It's like because it's a different route. Okay, you talk about the wide receivers. You know what you're going to get hanging out with the wide receivers and the DBs. We out in a club. Not me. I was out in the club. I was getting ice and stiff. But we in the club. We at all the dinners. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's a totally different vibe. The quarterback is almost like a CEO. The quarterback is real corporate. So, like, I can envision Peyton Manning going into this meeting showing, let me show you the process of what a quarterback has to go through, because that is intriguing. Seeing, Marcus Mariota sit down when he gets to the team hotel and he opens up his playbook and he's going through his process, marking the plays that he wants, that he doesn't want. Kirk Cousins, very methodical, very strategic, and over analytical at times, going through like all the details. Like that's what people loved, and I think that's what Netflix sold. But Ashley, I will say this: I am actually, it makes me feel good that Peyton Manning is struggling right now. And I'm not
his pain is your pain.
Yeah, because like
it's
I'm
not just
here,
you're glad it's not just you.
Well, because we're sitting here built an I Am Athlete, right? And we've had so many athletes and artists bless us, but people don't understand the process behind the scenes, like getting Deebo Samuels to show up, getting a Cam Newton, getting a Kyrie Irving, right? There's some this next season. I'm having like 2-3 people on our show that I've been communicating with and following up with for almost 3 years. 3 years. And they're finally about to sit down with us. Finally about to sit down and do an interview. And so, it's been difficult and at times it's been deflating. So for Peyton Manning to have the same struggle, I'm like, okay, it's not just me. It's not just me. So that's why it makes me feel good, and it gives me energy to continue to follow up with some of our biggest stars to join our show.
Well, thank you, Peyton, for soothing Brandon's emotional distress. Shout out to the chat, over 200 people, and it's only 11:25. Shout out to my dad. He's in the chat causing chaos.
What is Mr. Jeff saying?
I can't repeat it,
no, you gotta
but
repeat
I will say he's not a fan of Pat McAfee's attire.
Oh, today?
Of his, Pat McAfee, I guess, is on SportsCenter gearing up for the premiere of Pat McAfee.
Can we get a picture of it?
He's not. He actually sent me a picture. He's not a fan of the tank top.
Send it to Woo and see if Woo can put it on the show.
He's in the chat causing chaos and dissecting the.
So, Mr.
look.
Jeff, so you talking about Pat McAfee's attire?
Okay.
I see.
So
it.
his normal attire, his black tank top.
But can you end this debate? Right. So earlier in the show, I don't know if you were in already, but we debated who was more bougie, Ashley or I.
That's not fair because he doesn't know
fair.
you well enough to make that that determination.
Your father has been listening to us every single day for 7 months. And let me tell you something about men. Let me tell you something about your dad. It don't matter until when you 50 and you 60 years old, your dad's still gonna be scoping out the scene, the dudes you dating, the environments you going in. He's still gonna be like, who's she around? Especially in this environment. Okay, she doing this show with B. Marshall. You don't think your dad did homework? Your dad know. Your dad know. And he also know me. You know why? Because I used to scorch the Cowboys.
No, now he's definitely not gonna pick you. I mean, pick me.
Oh no, but he got to keep it real. Your dad's a real. He's from New York. So, Mr. Jeff, please end this debate, right? And you know I have so much respect for Mr. Jeff because he's always real. He's never biased just because it's my daughter. That's not the Mr. Jeff that I met. So, Mr. Jeff, is he there?
Yes.
Where is he at? Jeff,
he says my daughter by a mile.
Yes, that's my dog. That's my dog. I love Mr.
Oh, God.
Brandon Marshall here, Ashley Nicole Moss.
Thanks for the ISO there, BC. Way to nail that point home.
But listen, I love Mr. Jeff.
Okay.
I can't wait to have him on. Can we get him to call in next week after our Cowboys win?
We can have him pop on the show. We'll have the I'll bring him with me to work. How's that?
Yeah, I love
We'll have him sit right here in the middle. Like what was the dad
that's
on?
That's where you get it from. That's
Dan
what you get it from.
Who was the dad?
Yes.
Poppy?
Yes. I don't know why you and your pops haven't started a show yet. That would have been dope. Ashley and her dad, think about it. She became a Cowboy fan before she was even born.
I was a Knicks fan before I was born.
I can envision your mom and dad having a crib and Knicks gear and pillows inside the crib waiting for you.
No. My mom wouldn't let that fly.
You had no choice. You're living in New York and you're a Cowboys fan, right? So just imagine that. That's a really cool sports love story.
There's a lot of us though. I think people don't. There's a lot of us.
I mean, we're not talking about them. We're talking about y'all. You
my
and your
mom,
dad will have a dope show.
My mom used to tell me all the time that like when the Cowboys would lose, like because in the 90s they never really lost. So when they would lose, my dad would get in like a day-long funk. Like she wouldn't speak to him for a day. He'd be miserable for like the rest of the day, depending on when whatever. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and switch gears a little bit. Speaking of haters and things like that, the Clippers have beef with Taylor Swift. Yes, this is a true story. The Clippers apparently have an issue with Taylor Swift having a banner in the Crypto.com arena. This is per Arash Makarsky. Clipper fans quickly grew tired of the jokes that Swift had more championship banners than the Clippers, so her 1 to their 0. The Clippers initially covered up the banner along the entire West rafters with giant portraits of the players. So Taylor Swift was given a banner actually by Kobe Bryant for most sold out performances. Now, obviously, the Clippers and the Lakers still share an arena for the time being. They are getting their own arena in Inglewood soon. Yep. But this banner would hang in the Crypto Arena, the old Staples Center as well, for all games. Yep. And the Clippers absolutely hated it. The Clippers fans hated it. They hated the jokes that came with it. But it's like, my favorite thing is like, if you don't like it, do something about it. Well, like, what?
I hear you, but it is still disrespectful.
Why?
It's disrespectful. Like,
Billy Joel has
no blood, sweat, and tears.
Billy Joel has a banner in Madison Square Garden for most sold out appearances at the Garden. He has played at Madison Square Garden, most sold out appearances more than any other artist in history. He also has a banner. You don't see the Knicks fans complaining about it.
But the problem is this. Okay, you talk about the Knicks, right? Who else plays in the
Rangers
in the Garden? No, I'm talking about from a basketball standpoint.
Okay.
Nobody else.
Get your own arena.
Now they do.
Okay.
So they share it, so I can understand. It's like, yeah, we understand that people when they see the Staples Center, I call it Staples. When they see the Staples Center, they identify that with the Lakers, right? But at the end of the day, it's still both of theirs. They share it. And so you can't make decisions in a vacuum, and that sucks as a player. Kawhi Leonard walking in.
They don't own the crypto arena.
Paul George walking in, and they see Taylor Swift, and they don't see no Clippers.
Then
stuff.
win something.
This is disrespectful.
Then win something. This is whack. The crypto arena made the decision to give her a banner. They want to boo-hoo and cry about it. Listen, truthfully, your priorities are out of whack. That should be the least of your concerns. The fact that Taylor Swift has a banner hanging in the crypto arena. I can give you a laundry list of things that you should be concerned about, and Taylor Swift is not one of them. Get over it. Go win something if you want a banner hanging in the rafters. Like, it's honestly, Clippers fans do not have the gravitas to be mad about this.
Her favorite word.
Like, you don't. Your priorities are out of whack. Stop.
That was one
you look crazy.
Gravitas.
You look crazy.
Well, I'll give people the history lesson on gravitas next week, maybe. One of the things that are concerning for me, all right, Ashley, as we shift gears and dive into some more news of the day, is Bryant Gumbel and HBO canceled the show yesterday.
Was it canceled or is it coming to an end?
So Real Sports and Bryant Gumbel will end a 29-year run of this phenomenal series, Real Sports. So it's coming to an end, but they made the announcement yesterday, right? They didn't give us a heads up. They didn't tell us this will be the last season.
29
years. We're talking about how many Emmys, how many awards, 3 Peabodys. This is unbelievable. Bryant Gumbel launched this in 1995 and aired over 300 episodes. Like, when you think about sports talk and, having these deep dive conversations and in-depth conversations, you think about Hard Knocks and you think about Bryant Gumbel and Real Sports, right? I didn't always agree with all his stories or the correspondence stories, but I absolutely leaned in and loved it. Like, little inside information, when I decided to take this route and become a media personality, whatever you want to call it, he was one of the people that I identify as someone I should study and watch.
Me too.
Also, really,
he was one of the people that I studied throughout college. It was him. I studied people like him. I studied Aaron Andrews. I studied Robin Roberts, Stuart Scott. Like, there were a few people.
Oprah,
there were a few people that I really took pieces of their skill set,
that's right,
and I applied it to my own doing. But this show is incredible. I'm somebody who watches it religiously. Yeah. I love his interviewing style. I love, the journalists he has. I love the stories that they do. One of my personal favorites was they dove into a story about track stars coming out of a certain country in Africa, and they are known to have more testosterone than they should normally have, just biologically. And how they were having issues in track meets and things like that in London and qualifying for the Olympics because they were racing as women, but during the tests that they go through, all the physicals and stuff, it was coming back. They had too much testosterone to be considered a female athlete.
Wow.
But it was by just the freak nature of the environment in which they come from, where this is something that a lot of children deal with, an excess amount of testosterone. So it was talking about the lawsuit and the pushback of trying to race as a woman because there's something out of their control that's forcing them to have more testosterone than others. It was actually really fascinating, but he has a knack for finding his whole team, just for finding these stories that are outside of the things that you would normally think of.
Well, shout out to Bryant Gumbel for inspiring so many of us. He was definitely one that Ashley and I studied and looked up to and took a little bit of game from and put it into our own game. Ashley, this was my dream job. Like, when I came out and I'm
really.
When I came out and I'm like, all right, which way do I want to go? And this is before this whole YouTube stuff and this I Am Athlete stuff. I was like, yo, in 25 years, I'll be honest, I was like, in 10 years, can I potentially replace Bryant Gumbel when he retires? Right?
I think you're a little bit too new media to replace Bryant Gumbel.
I don't know.
HBO HBO. I don't know if HBO can stomach that.
Well, I don't know. I talked to HBO a couple months ago. I talked to HBO a couple months ago. You never know.
Okay.
But this show, the way they did this, I don't think it's coming back. And if they do, it'll come back with a new flair. It might be a new media flair, but shout out to them. This was a legendary show.
Legendary show, legendary chain. That's my transition. If you don't like it, deal with it because it's not getting better than that. Ezekiel Elliott has a new chain that honors the past and the present. The running back got a reversible chain to represent his old jersey number with the Dallas Cowboys, 21. 21. Nobody knows that reference? Does anyone get the
21.
reference? Keon just turned 23. He
for
doesn't know
me.
what that is. He's a baby. And his new jersey number with the New England Patriots, number 15. So I think we have the video of that so you guys can see. This is actually kind of cool. I actually did not hate this. And I hate a lot of these just excessive, monstrous chains. But I actually was a fan of this one with Zeke. It was actually really cool, like well done. Look at that. That's cool.
This is fire.
This is
fire.
really good.
When I saw this yesterday, I thought he had 2 chains.
Two
20,
chains, 21.
No, because it was side by side and had 20,
Yeah.
What was the number before?
15 and 21.
15 and 21. So I didn't know it was 1 and it
No,
flipped.
it's super sick.
That's dope. That might be that's probably, I would say this. That's the hardest chain I've seen.
Yeah. Can we see it again? Yeah,
That's
look
the
at
hardest
this.
chain I've seen.
I'm just trying to like really understand like the
On the athlete.
I'm trying to understand like the mechanics, the logistics of that. Like how does that work? Because
Let's see it again.
21, the 1 would be on this side, then it you know what? I guess if you flip
Ashley,
it,
don't do that.
the 21
Don't do
I'm just trying to understand how this works. Oh, because the 2 becomes a 5.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, okay. Whoa.
Yo, this is the I'm
This
telling
is
you,
sick.
this is not it. Keon, you've been around a lot of guys. You shot a lot of guys. Who has a better chain? I mean, guys got some dope jewelry, some dope Cubans.
This is sick.
Some amazing diamonds. But I'm tired of seeing the crosses and the initials. This is actually dope.
I love it. And I love that it shows, he could have just got the 15 and forgot his 21 era, but he didn't. I think this is a really sick. Again, we've spoken about this on the show. I'm not somebody who likes chains like this on men. I just think it's overkill.
Right.
I'm more of like a simple
Right.
Cuban type girl. Like I don't need the whole like big airplane robot Pokemon on your neck. I don't care.
So you couldn't do it? That's interesting. So you couldn't do it.
I don't like it on guys. I just feel like it's overkill. Like I just never really understood the necessity, like maybe to buy it and to keep it in a case as a collector item, but I never understood actually walking around with that on your neck, like something that big. Like with Sauce Gardner's big airplane where he's in the airplane cockpit. Like why do you need to walk around with that on your neck? I don't get it.
Guy, y'all meet, right?
No.
Your friend he said
no.
Not a blind date, but somebody set y'all up.
But
you seen a picture of him. He's like, oh, he's a cute guy. Actually, he's handsome.
Is he wearing
Very
a chain
handsome
in the
guy.
picture?
No chain in the picture.
Okay.
Boom. Y'all go to, Ashley. Keon's right. Ashley's bougie. She goes to the best restaurants. She's going to Carbone. That's what you said. She's in Carbone in Miami on South Beach.
Okay.
So this is where we're going to go. We're going to meet here. So boom, you arrive. Well, he arrives first, and then you arrive. Your Uber black SUV pulls up. Right? He sent the black Uber. He sent it.
Okay.
He's covered.
Okay. Off to a good start. Here we go.
So he sent the Uber. No. He should a driver. Because you can't send an Uber to you on the first date.
Uber black is fine.
No,
whatever.
That's not player. That's not player.
Okay, whatever.
No, because an Uber, that's not it. Like, no, I'm sending a driver. He suited and booted, come boom. So he sends the driver. Okay. Now you arrive. He's waiting for you. But he has 2 chains, big, like you said, plain, number out. Is it an automatic turn off?
It's a turn off, but I'm not gonna not go to the date and enjoy the date. But like, if we like continued to see each other and like ended up like dating or like getting into a relationship, I would like vocalize that. Like that's not my thing.
No, see, that's where we go wrong.
Like,
and this is where Ashley and Brandon get into the dating stuff.
Because I'm not gonna tell somebody I just met, oh, I don't like your chain, you shouldn't. Like, that's not, like, my place. I don't even know him. But like, if I get to know him, I would be like, I think it's no different when a guy you meet dresses a certain type of way and you upgrade his swag a little bit. You don't do that on the first date. That's, like, rude.
But isn't that why
that's
a
rude.
lot of our relationships aren't working is because we try to get into these things changing people?
Not changing. You just kind of upgrade what they already have. Like,
That's downgrading for him. He looking at, she want to take my jewels.
No, I would say, no. I would would say to somebody like, you can still like chains iced out, but like that's a little like overkill. Like, you know, understated is better. I feel like understated wealth is better. Like, for example, I don't like bust down watches. I like plain Jane watches. I don't really think a watch blinging around is like attractive. Right. I like more. And truthfully, when you're around people with real money, they don't wear that stuff. Like, if you ever watch like Succession, like they did a whole article in Vogue about this. It's called Understated Wealth. Like, they're wearing trench coats that you think look basic as hell that are worth 20 bands. Like, it's understated wealth. All that flash and that glamour and that stuff is like, no, but it's people with real money don't walk around like that. Like, it's just overkill. So I understand if you get a piece and you it's a collector's item and maybe you wear it once just to show it off. But like, you think walking around with a giant chain like that on the regular is like...
What if he pulls up in a Lamborghini and a Bugatti? Is that okay?
Cars are a little bit different.
I agree with you. Cars are a little bit different.
Cars are different
I want
than
to become
jewelry.
a car guy. I've never been a car guy. I've been a house guy, you know, and a watch guy. Well, a Rolex guy. I'm not even a watch guy, you know, but my little guilty pleasure is like where I lay my head. I want it to be like crazy. Like,
like cars.
I'll spend whatever on the crib. Hey, look at me. He like, what?
Cars, real estate.
I want the diffuser. As soon as I walk in the crib, I want to smell like I'm at the Caesar's Palace. Not Caesar's Palace, like the Wynn.
and also like even with cars, I'm borderline. Like, I'm somebody who believes that like if you're not buying a collectible car, that's something that's going to appreciate in value, then you shouldn't be buying $100,000 cars that next season they'll have a different model, because it's no value in it. Like, you should be. I'm a firm believer, like art, real estate, collectibles, buy things that will appreciate in value. Like, but time out. I didn't buy it though. I don't.
Just so we.
Keon, I don't buy my cars.
You have a Benz, though.
It's true. I do have a Benz.
But you have a Benz though.
But I don't buy my cars. I lease them. Because I give them, I know that I'm giving them back.
Mr. Jeff, though.
I've never bought a car in my life.
You Jeff's baby.
My dad would never let me buy a car that next year will be a new model. He'd be like, "Are you dumb?" Like, no, it never would happen.
So what's your dream car?
Mine's a G-Wagon. It's really simple. I've wanted a G-Wagon since I was a little girl. I'm close.
I'm going to disappoint you and Mr. Jeff. In 3 years.
Or a Thunderbird.
In 3 years, when we make it, we dreaming. I'm dreaming. I'm out here in front of hey, everybody, I'm dreaming. But this is how I be visualizing. You got to think like this. If you out there and you got, you know what I'm saying, your brain is the most powerful muscle in your body, the most powerful, you know, organism in your body. Did I say that right? Organism? Organ in your body. And so like you can think about these things and create, you know, something in your head, and that thing come to life if you actually believe it and you work that. So in 3 years, and I've never been a car guy, but I'm gonna disappoint you and Mr. Jeff. I'm going to go get a Bugatti.
There's nothing wrong with a Bugatti though.
A Bugatti is down there $2 million. You used to get one for $1 million. About time I'm ready, it might be 2 to 3 million.
That's not necessarily a bad investment, because Bugattis, first of all, they only make a certain amount of those cars a year. So if you did want to sell it, you would get your money back and then some.
No. So here's my thing. Even when I had a Rolls Royce Wraith, I had a couple cars. I drive my cars. I'm not one of those.
Doesn't matter.
Or that. Huh?
Even if you drove a Bugatti.
Because nobody wants a Bugatti with 10,000,
they
20,000.
They would refurbish it, or they would just buy it to collect it, depending on the model. But they only make like 100 of those a year. So if you had one and you wanted to sell it, you would make a profit. It may not be a drastic profit if it's like highly used, but if you buy it for $2 million, you could probably sell it for $3 million.
All right. Well, look, Ashley, let's get back to the show.
I
love when we get off topic here.
Let's talk about Dillon Brooks.
Happens. Well, he's the gift that keeps giving, and when you talk about someone, profiting off of, their situation, meaning a situation where people are laughing at him, he's actually in the news a lot, which is good for business for him. So Dillon Brooks is the gift that keeps on giving. He was seen shadowboxing in a tunnel after he was ejected from the Canadian game, right? And
him being Canadian just makes so much sense, bro.
Yeah, but so like it's interesting because it says here, like, after being greeted with booze in the pregame warm-ups, Brooks was ejected in the fourth quarter for taunting a player and after making a three. Here's a video. Check this out of Dillon Brooks, and then we can talk about it after.
Why does he have gloves on? Where did he get the gloves from?
Yo. Okay. So, all right, this is my first time seeing this video.
Where did he get those gloves from?
But it doesn't matter where he got the gloves from. See, this is what happens in the media, because I'm sitting here trying to read this rundown. Dillon Brooks was seen shadowboxing in the tunnel after getting ejected from Canadians' FIBA World Cup matchup from Slovenia on Wednesday. And it makes it seem like he was doing something weird and obnoxious, but he got ejected because it's Dillon Brooks. And now he's in the locker room. He's waiting for his team. You see his team coming in. Obviously, I don't know if that was halftime. It's probably after the game. They're coming in. And so he's just like greeting his team. It's not a big deal. Why do people continue to pick on Dillon Brooks?
I mean, how much time do you have?
Can you run that again? Look at this. But this is what the media does. But Dillon Brooks, though, obviously he understands the pocket that he's in because he continues to, give us these little jewels. But look. They're coming in. The game is over. People are like, oh, he's a clown. He's weird. He's just messing with his team. You got his coach right there laughing. Look, they're laughing. We did it. We got it.
Are they laughing
done.
with him or at him?
They're laughing with him.
Okay. Well, that's.
I don't
can't make that assessment.
I don't understand the big
I just want to know where he got the. I just want to know where he got the gloves
I'm
from.
starting to become a fan.
Did he pack the gloves? Were they in his gym bag?
There's always some weird stuff in the locker room.
Where did he get the gloves from? In the Philippines. In the Philippines.
Weird stuff in the locker room.
I can't say that I've ever seen somebody shadow box with gloves on. I just usually you got tape around your hands and you just okay, whatever. Moving on. We're going to dive into some football talk. Why? Because football is back, and Thursday Night Football kicks off a little bit after 8 o'clock today, and it's the Lions versus the Chiefs. Now, Travis Kelce is officially listed as questionable. We are still waiting for the official word if he is out or not. Everything is leaning towards that he probably will not play in today's game. So looking ahead to a few hours, Brandon, what are some of your keys to this matchup? It's going to be an interesting one. So, I actually think it's going to be a lot closer than people think.
So listen, football's back. I'm not going to do what you did at the beginning of the show, which I thought you should be nominated for a Sports Emmy. That was one of the best opens I've ever seen, not only in our 7 months of being together,
Appreciate it.
in my 10 years
Give me
of just
more.
doing media. That was really good.
Thank you.
It was excellent. I wasn't expecting that.
Thank
I wasn't
you.
expecting it was really good.
I'm
saying that because football is back, and this is a big deal. A lot of us have been waiting for this moment. You have the defending champions and the Chiefs taking on the Lions. So there's going to be a lot of energy. There's going to be it's just a festival tonight, right? And they deserve this spotlight. This is their night, and it's going to be a great matchup. And I think it's going – I know it's going to be closer than we all think. Like, hell, I don't even know why no, I'm not going to say that because people are going to laugh at me. But here's the Chiefs' keys to victory, Ashley. Patrick Mahomes, number one, I'm going to give you 3 for the Chiefs. For the Chiefs to win, they got to hit these three things. You see the sage right here? Okay? And you see how you came in yesterday, you went over your mantras? Patrick Mahomes needs to do the same thing.
He needs to go over his mantras?
He just needs to take a deep breath.
Okay.
Find his breath. Why? Look at that guy right there. 87's not there, right? Well, they're saying he's questionable, but it's highly unlikely that he won't play. He hyperextended his knee 2 days ago in practice. That was the breaking news of the week. So without him, Patrick Mahomes have to do more. Now, we seen Patrick Mahomes do more last year without Tyreek Hill. But this is a different situation. This is your safety net. This is the GOAT. This is the best tight end that we have ever seen. That's what they're saying, okay? But you still have Andy Reid. You still have playmakers. But what I'm saying is don't go out there on opening night and try to win the game yourself, right? Patrick Mahomes, take a deep breath and take what they're giving you. You don't have to force anything. So that's why I say if he takes a deep breath, he'll be totally fine. Does he need Travis Kelce to create this dynasty that they're trying to enter into? Absolutely, they need Travis Kelce. But do they need him tonight to win this game? No, they do not. They need their other playmakers to stand up, and that is actually the second key to victory is the other playmakers need to stand up. Needs to make a play.
Before you dive into that, let's dive into some of those other playmakers. Now, listen, Travis Kelce, as we mentioned, is officially questionable for tonight's season opener against the Lions. Now, wide receiver Kadarius Toney, his knee who was dealing with a knee injury, and cornerback L'Jarius Sneed are officially off the injury report. Both of them were dealing with knee injuries in some way, shape, or form, but good news for Chiefs fans. They are officially off the injury report and are, quote, good to go.
Yep.
So that is an update for the roster of the KC Chiefs.
There you go. And listen, and I'll be quick here. The Chiefs' keys to victory, Patrick Mahomes, find your breath, take a deep breath, right? It's like, what are you talking about? This is football. This isn't yoga. Well, because you don't have Travis Kelce, just like Ashley just said, you don't need to go out there and try to win it yourself. We've seen you overcome this last year without Tyreek Hill. Is it a big deal for the year? Yes. But is it a big deal for just this one game or two games? Absolutely not, because there's Andy Reid and there's Patrick Mahomes. The second thing is the playmakers that we just talked about. Mm-hmm. Tony, like this dude, he reminds me of like a Percy Harvin. The dude can do everything. So he needs to step up and make a play. And then I'm expecting, or they need to have their defensive backs make a play. Now, Spags, he's been there for 4 years. He has a bend but don't break defense. He loves to have these cornerbacks that can play inside, outside, and do other things, come off the edge. So they need to have their cornerbacks, either Sneed or McDuffie, come out and make just one big play. You just need one big play. Because on the other side, Jared Goff, I'm telling you right now, Sean McVay threw him out to the Wolves. He's trash. He's done. And then he comes in and he creates a top 5 offense, averaging 25, 26 points a game. So don't get it twisted. Jared Goff, he might look a little goofy at times, but the dude can play some ball, especially in the system, and it seems to be a better fit. And the third and last key to victory for the Chiefs to get the dub tonight, Andy Reid and Matt Nagy needs to win their battle against Aaron Glenn, and I don't think that's going to be hard, Ashley, because Aaron Glenn's defense last year, it's a new year, they gave it the most points in the NFL. Right? So those are the keys to victory, and Andy Reid, Matt Nagy, right? Just put together the right game plan.
I'm going to ask you a question, and this question is not me being shady. This is a legit question, okay? So this is not me trying to put a knife through your heart. Super Bowl hangover. Yep. Is it real?
It's not real for him, Patrick Mahomes. When I say him, that gentleman on the bottom of our screen, or lower third, with the the red jersey on and a nice white turtleneck. I used to wear the white turtleneck. Loved it with the little KC patch there. Not for him. He's different. Patrick Mahomes.
Well, he's part of a team, though.
Yeah. But when you have, come on, you got to put him in that conversation. Kobe Bean Bryant, Michael Jordan, LeBron James. You got to put him in that Tom Brady, Serena Williams. They when you're a champion, you're a winner. You just think differently.
Okay.
So. And so for me, even say that's a key to victory for him to take a deep breath and let the game come to him. That's part of his journey. Maybe 2-3 years ago, someone had to pull him to the side and say, "Calm down." You'll see him. He's a high emotional. He's a high revved up guy. Like, emotions run high. Andy Reid sometimes need to tell him to calm down, but he understands how to manage his own emotions and bring himself back down the baseline. But that guy right there. There ain't no Super Bowl hangover. This dude ain't thinking about just this year. This dude is thinking about the next 10 years. Mm-hmm. That's how they think. He's thinking about, how do I catch Tom Brady? He's thinking about, how do my name be cemented with the best athletes in all of sports? That's how he thinks. So there's no Super Bowl hangover. And Andy Reid's been doing this for how long? Some people are now saying if he continues to coach for another 5 years, could he go down as the best coach ever? And that is big. Lombardi, Bill Belichick. So I don't see no Super Bowl hangover coming from the Chiefs.
So I think this is going to be an extremely high scoring game. I think defensively we're not going to get much out of either team. If you look at what the Chiefs did in the Super Bowl against the Eagles, yes, it came down to a defensive stop that ultimately secured the win, but it was a high-scoring Super Bowl.
Yep.
So defensively, I don't think, especially also Chris Jones is not going to be in the mix this time around like he was during the Super Bowl.
They wish they had him.
He's in a holdout, as we mentioned earlier in the show, for his money. So I do think that that's going to work in favor of the Lions. I think we're going to see mostly offense in this game. It's going to come down to me personally, who can throw the least amount of picks and who's going to have the ball in their hand when it comes down to the wire. The last quarterback to have the ball in their hand is going to win this one for me.
Yo, it's interesting that you said that because when I look at the Lions' keys to victory, what the Lions need to get it done, my last key to victory, the third one, is Jared Goff making one more play than Patrick Mahomes. It is going to be high scoring.
Yeah.
So I agree with you there.
Both defenses are not going to do much. Detroit's defense is questionable, and the Chiefs' defense is questionable as well.
Yeah, listen, you know what? I'm with you when you right? You got to think about these aren't like two of the best defenses. These are the Chiefs are like middle of the pack.
They're average.
The Lions of last year, they weren't Lions. Lions lead the pack. They was in the back. What kind of animals is in the back? I don't know.
Like a warthog.
Like a warthog. Right.
Like Pumbaa.
So Ashley, it's funny because and I'll finish my keys to victory in a second. And I'm torn here. I'll make my decision here in the next, maybe 5-10 minutes whenever you put pressure on me. But I got the Lions. Like I really want to go with the Lions winning, and I have them winning 28-27. It's a shootout.
Wow.
Right? But if the Chiefs win, I have them winning 34-28. Okay. But I want to go with the Lions, but I'm not sure because it's like, damn, that's Patty Mahomes. That's him. So the Lions' keys to victory is Jared Goff, bite no kneecaps. It's similar to what I just said with Patrick Mahomes. Take a deep breath. It's opening night. Now that you're negotiating a big contract, they want to give you the money, right? You brought your true story. I had someone close to Jared Goff hit me up when he, was in that transition from the Rams to the Lions. He wasn't in a great place mentally, right? And obviously, that I'm, big into the sports psychology and sports science and mental health. And for that dude to go from, and a lot of athletes go there struggling, right? And trying to figure out what's next. If he still has it, fighting for his confidence, to now being in position to get probably a huge payday, that's a big deal. So take a deep breath, bro. Don't bite no kneecaps. Go back to when Dan Campbell got the job. Oh, we're going to bite kneecaps, all the emotion. That emotional shit don't work. Once the kickoff, all that raw stuff y'all see from football players, all the muscles and let's bump heads and do all that. Bro, when the ball is kicked, when the ball is snapped, it's about execution. Will you do your job? That raw stuff don't mean nothing. So he just needs to go out there and execute at a high level and just be very strategic. Eliminate big plays. Patrick Mahomes, obviously, he doesn't have the Tyreek Hill. He don't have potentially Travis Kelce, but he does have some young guns out there. I don't know if y'all been following training camp, but the dude got some guys that can make some big plays, and he's going to make big plays. It's going to come down to those guys if they're going to come down with the ball. Those 50-50 balls is at 80-20. Jared Goff, I already said that. Bite no kneecaps and make one more play than Patrick Mahomes. So those are the Lions' keys to victory.
All right, well, we're getting closer and closer to kickoff, so we'll keep an eye on the Travis Kelce news, wait for that official ruling if it does come down. But we have some more football news, and it's not looking good for the Rams because Rams head coach Sean McVay has officially ruled out Cooper Kupp for Sunday's regular season opener versus the Seahawks. LA is said to be deciding, and this is the big part of this news, LA is said they are still deciding on whether or not to place Kupp on IR, meaning that would make him unavailable for the team's first 4 games of the season. Now, if you remember, Cooper Kupp went ahead on Monday and visited a hamstring specialist, I believe, in Minneapolis or Minnesota. Mr. Miyagi, as you like to call him. But, Brand, this is a big deal, and it's also not a big deal. So it's an on-the-fence situation for me because, one, we talk about this all the time. The Rams are not the Rams that won the Super Bowl.
That's right.
They're not going to be overly competitive. Nobody's expecting much. I take that back. They're going to be competitive. They're not going to be a team that is expected to do much, though. They're a shell of the team that they were when they won the Super Bowl. So Cooper Kupp being out of the mix for however long that may be does make them less competitive, but it doesn't break their season because if we're going to be honest, the season was already broken.
The
season was already broken. I know Boy Wonder doesn't think it's broken, but it's broken. It's broken. You got Matthew Stafford, who has no connection to his young wide receivers. He has no idea what they're talking about. You still have Aaron Donald. He's absolutely a beast. but you don't have any of that team that won the Super Bowl. This is going to be a competitive team. This is not going to be a team that does anything.
Listen, I agree, and you are right. It's like it's news, but it's not big news because no one's expecting the Rams to go out there and win a Super Bowl. No one's expecting the Rams to go out there and dominate. They're not the scary Rams from 2018, 2019, 2020, and then obviously the year they won a Super Bowl. So I agree with you there. To me, this just sucks for Cooper Kupp.
For sure.
I put myself in his position as a former wide receiver, someone who's won a Triple Crown, not me, but Cooper Kupp. And it's like, that sucks not being out there, not only missing games, but missing the start of the season. You don't want to start the season dealing with a nagging hammy injury, right? And this guy has already, last year he dealt with injuries, right? And your best ability is availability, as they say, right? And there's a lot of guys like OBJ just last week had him in his top 5 as, best receivers in the NFL. So there's a lot of people that try to fight for Cooper Kupp, but when you look at the body of work, it's like 2 good years, 1 major year. So I know Cooper Kupp as an athlete sitting back like, man, I want to go out there and get my team over the hump, because everybody is saying, well, Ashley Nicole Moss is saying, we're not going to be good. We don't have a chance. But damn, if I can go out there and have another big year like I did 2 years ago, 1,800 yards or 1,900 yards, we could potentially be in position. Bring this young guy with me. So this sucks for Cooper Kupp because he's also probably looking at, all the noise and understanding his situation. Like, man, I need to go out there and produce. If you don't produce, they ask you to take a pay cut or they cut you. So this sucks for Cooper Kupp, and I understand and feel his pain. Actually, I can't understand and feel his pain because, like, the first 10 years, I was always out there. I don't know what happened year 11, year 12. I don't know, the damn water in Florida. Like, what happened? Bodies just start breaking down.
Bodies.
And still producing. And then all of a sudden, 2008, 17 hit. My knees start hurting, and everything else start hurting. They say when they hit the wall, you hit the wall, huh?
It happens. Well, listen, from one team that's not going to be that competitive to one that is probably not going to be competitive at all. The Arizona Cardinals have officially named Josh Dobbs as their starting quarterback, but just for this week. Yeah, you heard that correctly. So the Cardinals are expected to have Josh Dobbs as their starting quarterback this week, with rookie Clayton Tune getting backup reps. Now, they said that they were going to, or they will evaluate their quarterback situation week to week. So not only is Kyler Murray out of the mix, the guy they just paid, but they think that it's wise to go ahead and just quarterback experiment the team all season long. 1 week it may be Josh Dobbs. 1 week it may be Clayton Tune. Wow, that's crazy.
Hey, Jazz.
Who put that graphic up there?
Our art designer, our head of art here, Jazz.
That is foul, Jazz.
Oh, my goodness.
I did not approve this graphic. We did not approve this. We did not know this was going to be up there. Wow. But listen, this is a dumpster fire. It just adds to the dumpster fire that is the Arizona Cardinals. Switching quarterback week to week is just a formula that doesn't ever work.
That's right.
Never. Yeah. It doesn't work for your receiver core. It doesn't work for your offense as a whole. And it certainly doesn't work for the development of any quarterback you put in that position. So what the hell?
Right. So I'll say this, right? What did Geno Smith say last year?
They tried to write me off, but I ain't answer though, or something like that.
They tried to write me off, but I ain't write back.
Yeah, there you go.
So the Arizona Cardinals, okay, and the higher ups have a plan for their year. I don't know, maybe tanking. I'm not sure. Trying to get the number 1 overall pick next year because they see Caleb sitting there. But you got a kid in Josh Dobbs who's actually a veteran, been in the league for a couple of years and sitting behind some really good quarterbacks and even some quarterback gurus in the offseason and some great offensive minds. This is a moment for him to have that Geno Smith type year. Mm-hmm. Now, Geno Smith was a starter in New York. Geno Smith was drafted to New York to be the guy. Josh Dobbs wasn't drafted to be the guy, but guys thought he can come in and contribute. Can he potentially go out there in week 1? Because like you said, if you don't do it right away, you might not get another opportunity. Mm-hmm. Can he potentially go out there and show well? and then win another week, and then win another week. When I say win another week, win the opportunity to go be the starting guy and show promise, right? So I'm thinking about Josh Dobbs. I'm thinking about, like, if I'm in his position, how I'm thinking. Like, you got to be licking your chops right now. Like, yes, nobody's expecting our team to do anything. Nobody's expecting me to do anything. But I'm going to go out there and take advantage of my moment. And my father used to always tell me, Ashley, he says, just takes one play, son. That's what he's always telling me in high school. You know, disappointed, sitting on the bench my freshman year, sophomore year, not really getting the action that I wanted. Son, it takes one play. And every year, whether it was a punt return, whether it was a picked up fumble, whether it was a, you know, a nice little scamper, or it was a catch, you know, it was always one play that had the coach or the team to go like, oh, that's him, right? Same thing in college. The same thing in the league. They drafted me to play tight end. Coach Shanahan didn't even call me on draft day. With the 119th pick in the 4th round, the Denver Broncos select Brandon Marshall. You know, you get the call, you thinking it's Coach Shanahan. It's like, yo, B, this is head of ops. You know, congratulations, blah, 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 blah. And then, you know, the Coach Heimendinger jumped on the phone and said, just be ready to play tight end. And it was Champ Bailey that went to the coach and said, no, that kid's a receiver. Why? Because that play, that moment happened in practice. Boy, Champ Bailey on the other side. I lined up. Boy, I hit him with a Jerry Rice, Keon. Jerry Rice watching film. Jerry Rice, bro, like, he going to the left, but he'll run. And right when he get 5-6 yards, he start looking to the right. And then everybody start moving that way. Then, bam, put his foot in the ground, go on the skinny post. Boy, that was my moment. Boy, that was my Jerry Rice moment. I hit him with that Jerry Rice. Champ Bailey went straight to coach to that boy wide receiver. So Josh Dobbs need to be having that same mindset. But he also need to do what I told Jared Goff and Patrick Mahomes to do. Just take a deep breath. Don't let the moment overtake you. But this is your moment.
This is your moment.
This is your moment.
I'm so hungry that he keeps saying Champ Bailey and I'm hearing Scampi. I don't know why. Like, he keeps saying it. My mind just keeps visualizing shrimp scampi. Like, I'm that hungry. Y'all know I don't eat till 12 and it's 12 o'clock now.
You fast
So
too?
I don't eat. I don't put food in my body until 12 o'clock. So
I do around 2.
it's 12 and your girl is starting to get hungry. But
hold on, time out. I've been fasting till 2. You don't see how
2?
lean I am?
Why
'Cause
2?
2 weeks ago she comes in. Y'all didn't see my skin. Y'all don't see my hair.
How am I supposed to see
You
your
don't how
body? You all
lean-
covered up.
No, what you mean? Look at my face. Look at my cheeks. Nagin, can you see it? You don't see it?
She just nodded. She ain't say nothing.
Y'all see it in the chat.
She ain't trying to deal with it.
Chrissy, do you see it? Y'all ain't telling y'all that boy getting lean. And y'all so dirty. Nobody for the past 2 years want to look me in the eye and say, B, that tummy you looking like that retired.
Are you walking around with a crop top? Like, how would we know?
You can see it. Y'all can see it. Come on, Chrissy, you ain't supposed to be Pamela. Y'all supposed to be telling me, hey, good job, P.
Keon knows better. He saw you in yoga. He ain't tell me like anything. I don't know. You were in.
Keon. Let me stop capping. Keon and Geen, they've been on my little wellness journey with me. They we got some pictures. You got pictures of before and after? Let's show them real quick.
Do we got before and
Let
after
me see
pictures?
it. Let me sign off before.
What is this? A weight loss commercial?
It might be. We gonna come back. Because when we supposed to show
new
the
workout
Pat
plan,
McAfee
HOA,
picture, and
new
then
workout plan.
We'll come back.
It didn't Pat McAfee picture just him in a black tank top. We've seen that a 50
why
times.
did that piss off your dad so much?
Because he just thinks it's stupid.
Okay.
That's all. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk quarterback. We went wide receiver. We're gonna switch gears a little bit. Joe Burrow is ready and thinking about the future. Joe Burrow told reporters yesterday, quote, "I'm expecting to play. I'm ready to go," when asked about his week 1 status after sustaining a calf injury early in training camp. Now, also during his time at the podium, Burrow spoke on his pending contract extension with the Cincinnati Bengals. He said, "This is where I want to be my whole career. We're working to make that happen." And he added that the extension is actually the last thing he's thinking about because he knows it will come. We have a video, so take a listen to this.
He knows coming. I love this kid. It's my male crush.
Yeah, so I mean, listen, we alluded to this a little bit. Well, I did when we were actually talking about the Lamar Jackson situation. I said that Joe Burrow, yes, he doesn't have his deal yet, but it's different when you're in an organization where you know that they're going to go ahead and take care of you. Right. You know that they're going to go ahead and pay you. It is not even something that you think about. It's not even something you stress about because you know that it's coming. So I'm not surprised that Joe Burrow has this mindset. He knows the Bengals are going to take care of him. 270 is the number that's being thrown around that he's expected to go ahead and sign for. He's not stressed because he knows it's coming. It's like and Bosa. Sorry, guys, the video did not have audio. We realized that after. It wasn't just us. They didn't hear it in the chat as well.
Okay, great. Basically what Joe said was this. Put the camera on me, BC. And shout out to BC. He is our only team member, co-worker.
He's holding it down.
Is in control room by himself because, you know, Wu had to go take care of some personal matters, right? And so BC doing a phenomenal job in the back.
They did hear you say that he's your male crush, though.
They heard. Yeah. They heard me say that.
They didn't hear Joe Burrow's speech, but they heard that you have a man crush on him.
Because this is probably what Joe Burrow says. Like, look, you know, we understand who we are, and you know, the Brinks truck is going to be backed up whenever I say back it up, but the money's there. Okay. I got Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Just want to take care of those guys. He don't talk like that because he's really from Ohio, but he played in Louisiana. But Joe Burrow is so cool, and that's why he's my man crush, Ashley. That's my new man crush. I forget who was my man crush before. I had a man crush before. How's that crazy? Why we do that as dudes? Like, y'all act like y'all a man crush?
You don't have a man crush?
Oh, it's called a bro crush. What is it called?
A bromance is different. No, a bromance is different than a man crush. A bromance is different than a man crush. Okay, let me read. Like you and Russell Wilson. Okay. You and Russell Wilson.
Help me.
No, you and Russell Wilson have a bromance.
Oh,
you don't have a bromance with Joe Burrow. Now a man crush can turn into a bromance.
No. The man crush. I see why Keon was over looking at me like, yo, bro, I've been around you how many years? What you talk about? You know, but look, to each his own. But for me, it's more of a bromance. It's a bromance. This is my new bromance.
Do you guys actually have a bromance, or you want a bromance?
Oh, it gotta be.
You have to. Mutual? A bromance is something you have with somebody, like it's mutual. It's mutual.
Oh no,
It's just a man crush.
Yeah. No, this is just me. You know, a big fan of him.
Got it.
Right. I just love his demeanor. I love how he conducts himself. You know, on the field, off the field. But it's the same Joe. You know, he's super cool. He's down to earth. We did some stuff with him, I think, before he even came out of the draft. So, big fan of Joe Burrow. The deal is going to get done, and he will be the highest paid quarterback in the league. And maybe what they're waiting on is Patrick Mahomes' deal to get done, right? Because he's like, yo, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, they started some conversations this offseason. And he's like, okay, well, we know Patrick Mahomes is going to get the bag if he doesn't give another extremely team-friendly deal. So he might be waiting for Patty Mahomes to get the deal done so he can come above him and get the bigger bag. And that's probably what Patrick Mahomes is waiting for as well. Like, yo, let's wait for Joe Burrow to go. Because when Joe Burrow go, he going to go. But he might give a team-friendly deal too because, like, you got T. Higgins you want to keep. You got Boyd you want to keep. You got Jamar Chase that you got to pay, right? So how do you do that? I'm really excited to see the Chiefs, and I'm also glad, Ashley, that he is out there because there was a lot of people out there thinking that he wasn't going to play this first game or potentially even more because of that calf. And like JP said, we're glad that it's not that KD type of calf. Remember, KD had the calf, and then it turned into an Achilles, and it turned into, what, a 2-year – was he off for like 2 years? Felt like it.
Yeah, it felt like it was 2 years. Someone in the chat said my first man crush was Joe Namath. That's far back.
Who's that?
Bailey 2006 said my first man crush was Joe Namath. That's back in time. How old are you?
We don't know.
Bailey,
can't ask nobody how old
you could ask men how old they are.
That's Bailey. That might be a Joe Namath. Well, that's what they like, but
Joe Namath. Wow. Joe Namath did have swag though.
2006.
Joe Namath had swag.
Joe Namath had the. So he was
Smoking Joe.
Joe Burrow before Joe Burrow.
He was the original Smoking Joe.
He out there with fur coats on. Joe, Smoking Joe.
Smoking Joe. Well, listen, we will go ahead and the chat saying that's old as hell. How old are you, bro?
Don't be running off Bailey. Y'all leave Bailey alone.
That is not sexist, by the way. That would be ageist, not sexist. What are we looking at? Oh, that's the picture before?
Yeah.
Okay, can we hold it up to the camera?
That up.
Oh, now you don't want to hold it.
That's the before picture. Wow. Let me just show y'all my face.
Bailey says he's 55. Shout out to Bailey 2006. Hey, Bailey. 55 is young. I thought you were going to say something older than that.
Yeah, you're young.
55 is so young. I thought he was going to say like 85 or something. Okay, so listen, from one quarterback to another, Caleb Williams, he might not enter the NFL draft. So USC star quarterback Caleb Williams' father told GQ magazine that Caleb could stay in school another year if he doesn't like the situation he'd be in with the team picking number 1 overall in next year's draft. He said, quote, "The funky thing about the NFL draft process is he'd almost be better off not being drafted than being drafted first. The system is completely backwards. The way the system is constructed, you go to the worst possible situation, the worst possible team, the worst organization in the league because of their desire for parity gets first pick. So it's a gift and a curse. So if there's not a good situation, the truth is he can come back to school. Now, it is expected that the Arizona Cardinals would be getting the first pick in next year's draft. So in so many ways, Caleb Williams' father is saying, my son, he ain't going to AZ. So, I mean, Brandon, this is the first time I feel like we've seen someone be this vocal about it. Obviously, this has happened before. Eli Manning notoriously got traded to the Chargers, I believe. And Mr. Manning told Mr. Manning and his son decided, yeah, my son's not playing there, so you might want to trade him.
Keep that same energy.
And now he became a New York Giant. So, I mean, but this is the first time we've heard somebody say this, I feel like, this before the draft has even happened.
Yeah, and think about this. Did Eli Manning get what he wanted?
He sure did.
All right, so now we see someone that looked like me, looked like you, Keon, and they daddy using that same play. Keep that same energy. Because he's right? And there's a lot here. There's a lot to unpack, Ashley, everything that you just said. Okay, first off, that is the play. Tom Brady as well. Tom Brady's dad is not as vocal, but when Tom Brady needs to send a message, his dad always happened to pop up. Some little podcast, some little interview. Oh, we ran into Tom Brady's dad. Right. So I love this young man because he's savvy, he's smart. He seems to not only be in position to really know the business, but to master the business. Because there were, he said something about asking the owner for equity in the team when he come out, which he'll never get, right? But like how he's thinking about ownership, how he's understanding like the moment he's in and the platform that he does have, super savvy. And so you're seeing the savviness come out right now when it's like, I don't want to go to whether it's the Arizona Cardinals or whoever's sitting at 1 because everything his dad said is right. So he's letting his dad go out there and push that message forward. I'm just letting y'all know that this is probably going to be an Eli Manning moment when I come out in the draft. Yeah. And if the situation ain't right, I'm not going. And so keep the same energy that y'all had when Eli Manning did the same thing. So I absolutely love this. But then also, Ashley, it just makes me think about Kyler Murray. So what are we saying here? That Kyler Murray's done? He's washed? He's a bust? The Kyler Murray that I saw is a young, immature Kyler Murray. And there's a lot of us that walk into the NFL, the NBA, and we're young, immature, and we make mistakes. And we need to develop and we need to grow. We've seen this. Geno Smith is a perfect example. It took Geno Smith 10 years to get back right. Okay? So why Kyler Murray can't get that same opportunity? Because didn't we say he's a human joystick? Did we watch Kyler Murray make those plays and how shifty he was? So to me, Ashley, it sounds like people are saying we're going to move on from Kyler Murray, and if they do, I think it's the wrong mistake. Because if he's developing from a leadership standpoint and he's maturing, the play on the field, like, it's going to speak for itself.
Yeah, I mean, going back to what Caleb's dad said, yes, we have seen this before. We've seen it with Eli Manning. We've seen it with John Elway. So it's not like we haven't seen it before. It's just that the rationale behind it's a little odd for me, because the only he's saying that the funky thing about the draft process and you're better off staying in school depending on the team that gets the first pick.
Right.
But that's the way the league is. The worst teams get the top draft picks unless a trade happens like that. So if you're going to continuously wait for the right team's not going to have the number one pick.
But I don't think they're doing that.
It's just Arizona.
No, I mean,
because
yes, I do think that there's certain teams that just have bad years. And so, like, and there's some teams like, I never want to go to Cleveland. I never want to go to like, for them, Arizona, because you see ownership. Dan Snyder, they got him up out of there in Washington. Nobody who wants to go to Dan Snyder, right? So, like, there's certain teams there, but I don't think that's what they're saying. What I hear them saying is, look, when we come out, if the situation ain't right, we setting this up to ask for a trade.
No, what I'm saying, but that's what I'm saying. They said, so if there's not a good situation and meaning what? A competitive team? Because he said the way the system is constructed, you go to the worst possible situation, the worst possible team, the worst possible organization, and you might as well just stay in school. But what I'm saying is that the way the league has always been constructed, in order for it to go in cycles and for teams that were bad to once become good, you award them a top pick so that you can start that rebirth of going from a non-competitive team to a competitive team. All teams have done it. It's happened throughout eras across the board. So what I'm saying is that I understand maybe Arizona's not desirable, whatever the case may be, but the team that has the first draft pick is never going to be a good situation. There's always going to be something wrong with it. That's how they have the first draft pick in the first place. Right. So what I'm saying is that there is never going to be a perfect situation.
Yes, there is.
No, it's not, because if you have the top draft pick, there's something wrong with the team. It could be the ownership's bad. They could be actually have nothing on the roster.
Of course,
it takes more than one pick to build a team, but to get the first pick, it's because you are not a good team. You're never going to go to a good team if you're the first draft pick. That's the way it's always existed.
I agree with you. But let's talk about it this way. Would you agree that there's strategy in negotiations?
Of course.
Okay, right. So people, posturing, people are setting up their position. We just saw Nick Bosa, take him how many months to get a deal? Lamar Jackson, 2 years to get a deal, right? So there's a lot of back and forth when there's a lot of money, on the table. So what I see from these statements is, and what I hear from these statements is, we're letting you guys know our position right now. So we're not like having this discussion, come February, March. Like, you guys already know. So these teams that are starting to potentially, what they call it when the games, what do we call it? What is the Arizona Cardinals doing right now? Tanking, right? The Arizona Cardinals, everybody's trying to get in position. They're speaking to them saying, look, this is what we're looking for, and this is where we're at. So now Arizona's like, shit, maybe we need to change our strategy so we don't have another Eli Manning and Phillip Rivers type moment. Because when you say, first, I get it, but you got to go. Let's go back to the 2021 draft. Yes. The number one overall pick and the number one team picking was probably trash. But then you seen movement, right? You saw the 49ers give up 3 1s, some 2s or whatever else to move up to the third spot to get Trey Lance, right? So there could be movement, right, for Caleb to get to where he wants to go, a better situation. So the number one overall pick might not be it, but what he's telling number one overall pick, you better be open for business.
No, of course. I'm not saying that trades don't happen, movement doesn't happen, guys don't fall, teams don't take a guy that they don't think is going to play or has said that they're not going to play. All I'm simply saying, the ideology of that, you don't go to waiting for a good situation. If you're a top draft pick, a number 1 draft pick, 9 times out of 10, you're going to a suck team.
That's right.
It's just the way it is.
Right.
It's the same thing in the NBA. You're going to a suck team. That's why they're in the lottery in the first place. Unless they got a lottery pick via picks and via trade before. But you're always going to go to a bad team. Even if you're going to be traded.
So do you see something wrong with their approach?
What I'm saying though is even if he's going to be traded, like let's say Arizona is going to go ahead and talk business and talk shop with another organization, that franchise is also not going to be very good because the Eagles aren't going to go ahead and do business with them. It's going to be another organization, another franchise.
That's not true.
What franchise would go ahead and do business with Arizona?
That's why I gave you that's why I went back to the 2021 draft and I showed you that, and it's the 49ers.
The 49ers are a bad example because they notoriously screw up the quarterback. But you see how that screwed them?
But they're not though. They're contenders. Like Caleb would rather go to Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch, a top 5 defense that has 3 playmakers around him, than going to the Arizona Cardinals. So it's not no situation is going to be perfect. But Eli Manning is the case study, and Archie Manning is the case study. It's
but what about a Joe Burrow? Joe Burrow went to
they didn't believe in the Chargers back then, so what they said, we want to go to a better situation, and they found a better situation. They went to the New York Giants, who is known to have great ownership, great leadership, and at the time it was Coach Coughlin, who was known to be a good coach that turned into a great coach during his time because of the pushback that he had from the players.
But what about other situations? You look at Joe Burrow. When he got to the Bengals, they were terrible. They all wanted Joe Burrow to do what Eli Manning did and refused to play for the Bengals. He went to the Bengals, and what happened? You go through the motions, and now they've been to the Super Bowl multiple times. Josh Allen, they wanted him to do the same thing. They said their career is going to die in Buffalo. They don't know how to manage talent in Buffalo.
No,
that's
not what they said, but go ahead.
You go through the motions. He went through the changing of the guards, and now he's on the other side. Lamar Jackson with the Ravens. The list goes on.
No, Lamar Jackson with the Ravens.
Oh, no, Lamar Jackson, sorry, was a bad example with the Ravens. I'm not going to do that. Right. Deshaun Watson, when he went to Houston, that situation turned out to be just terrible.
They ain't win no Super Bowl.
They were more competitive than they've been in years when Deshaun Watson took over. Baker Mayfield to the Browns, it was not the great situation, but they were more competitive than they had been in few. What I'm saying is that you're always going to go to a bad team, whether it's a bad team with potential. That may be different.
Well, but yes.
But it's always going to be a bad team.
You know where we're off right now. We're not even. Here's where we're off and where we see it different. You're looking at what is, and I'm looking at what could be, and they're looking at what could be. So you're right. This is the situation, but what they're saying is, F that. We're not subscribing to that.
But where are you going to go?
Anywhere but Arizona. That's basically what they said.
But that's my point. So you want to go, you don't care about going to a bad team. It's a bad team with promise, a bad team with potential, because you're not going to go to a contender immediately because they don't need you. They're good to go.
Here's what you're looking for. What they're looking for, it starts with ownership.
Okay.
Do they have good ownership? Good ownership, because if you don't have good ownership, everything trickles down to them janitors. So they're looking at what's happening in ownership. Is this good ownership? Are they going to make the proper investment in the team, in the amenities, in everything that we need, having the proper resources to go win a Super Bowl if that's the goal for a Caleb Williams? And then you're looking at management. Are they known to have stability in management? Or are they hiring a general manager every 2 years? And the same thing with coaching. What type of coaches do they have? Is it in and out? Is it a revolving door? So if they're looking for good ownership and they're looking for stability from the management standpoint and possibly in coaching. Coaching is a big thing, because if you are a team that's in need and you're going to wheel and deal, there's a good possibility that you may have a new coach. But it's like, what type of coach do they have? Is this a good fit? What type of system?
That I can agree with that. So it's a bad team with potential.
And no, it doesn't have to be. It could be. They could be coming off a bad season, because you can also look at the pieces. Do they have an offensive line? Do they have weapons? Defense is a big thing. What pieces do they have on defense? So that's what he's looking at, not necessarily like, is this team are they coming out of the playoffs, or did they win the Super Bowl, or were they in the Super Bowl in the last 2 years? I don't think they're approaching it that way.
Okay. So a semi-bad team with potential.
What's wrong with you?
It's semi.
What's wrong with you?
A middle-of-the-road team with potential. That's fine. I'm not mad at that. All right, listen. We are going to transition now to Bet, which is a segment that helps us help you, or we help you help yourselves to place bets on certain games, certain situations. We just want to put money in your pocket.
Ashley, just say it. Tell the people. Say this is a B. Marshall segment.
This is a B. Marshall segment.
B. Marshall segment. My goal is to get Ashley betting. Ashley, you got to put together a budget.
I played Russian roulette once.
Ashley, give me a budget right now. This is how we going to do it. We all going to do it this way. Let's establish our rules.
I can't.
The paper chasers. So, Ashley, we just talked about leadership, right? Mm-hmm. So, it starts with you and I, okay? So, we're going to establish the rules for football season because we don't want anybody to lose their houses. We don't want anybody to lose, their cars. We don't want anybody to get, divorced because they didn't lost everything. So we got to establish the rules. And the number one rule is, what's our budget? Okay, what are you willing to bet and walk away from? Because football season's here tonight. Some people can put together a 3-leg parlay, 4-leg parlay, make a lot of money.
I have to discuss that with my financial advisor. I'll get back to you. But
come on, Ashley. All right, let me start here. $25 to $50 a week. Can you do that? What bag are you carrying today? Can we see your bag?
That's $200 a month.
Can we see your bag?
No.
What bag do you have? What you call it? A baby Burberry? What did she call it?
It's a baby Burberry.
And what glasses do you have? Saint Laurent glasses.
That's $200 a month.
Your glasses
that's
are
a really
$700.
No, they're not. $200 a month. That's like a really nice dinner.
Come on, Ashley.
I don't.
So $25 a weekend. No, let's do 100. No,
Now you're raising the number,
right, 50,
and I don't.
50 a weekend.
That's $200 a month.
I want one parlay for $50.
I'll consider it.
But here's the thing. You see how Ashley is going through her process. She said, I need to talk to my financial advisor. That's what you guys need to do. Not everybody's Ashley Nicole Moss, super bougie, that have Tommy Hilfiger and all these other deals, cover girl of this, cover girl of that. So you may be your own financial advisor, but sit down. Think this thing through because football season's here and you guys need to have a plan. Don't just go out there just willing and dealing. No, you need to come listen to the experts. You need to come and sit down and say, you know what? Here's the strategy here. Patrick Mahomes has never thrown an interception in any opening night since he's been in the league. That might be a good bet. But do your work. But I love what you're doing in the process you're going through, Ashley, because you're saying, what can I afford? I'm just not going to throw money at it, and we're going to figure this thing out. Okay. So for me, Ashley, my budget is going to be, all right, get 4 big bets a year.
4 big bets a year.
400,000.
Okay.
All right. So 4 tentpole events where I bet 100,000 on a fight. It could be 100,000 on a Super Bowl. But if we get to the Super Bowl, Ashley, business is booming, and I say 250,000 I'm putting on the Jets. Ashley, grab me and say no. B, your budget is 100,000. We agreed on this. What is today? September what? 7th. No, we can't.
Bad influence. Bad influence.
So
bad
Keon
influence.
just said if I win all 4 of my tentpole events, 100,000, 100,000, then when you get to the Super Bowl, I can bet more. No, you can't. That's the problem. So now all my earnings of the year, I'm going to give right back if the Jets don't get it done. That don't make much sense.
All right, let's dive into this segment before we run out of time. Here we go. Lions versus Chiefs. All right, listen.
We have the budget down. Okay.
Listen. We're going to dive into this.
All right, here we go.
The last time the Chiefs and the Lions met was in 2019. The Chiefs won 34-30. Now, the Chiefs are currently minus 4.5 favorites versus Detroit. The total over-under is 54.5 points. Now, here are some prop bet notes, so get your pen and your paper ready because here we go. All right, Patrick Mahomes has hit the passing yards over in 11 of his last 15 games. Jared Goff has hit the interceptions under in his last 9 games. We also have Jerick McKinnon has hit the longest rush under in his last 9 games. We have Isaiah Pacheco has hit the carries under in his last 6 games. The Kansas City Chiefs have hit the money line in 10 of their last 11 games at home. So that is some prop bet notes for you. Now, we do also have some prop bets. We'll dive into those really quickly. So we have a prop bet right now. Patrick Mahomes over 305.5 passing yards, minus 114 or better. We have Isaiah Pacheco, anytime TD scorer, plus 110 or better.
Money.
Jared Goff, 275 plus passing yards, plus 140 or better. We have Jahmyr Gibbs over 31.5 receiving yards, minus 114 or better. Money. Lions being the first team to score, plus 115 or better. Brandon, what are you liking? What are you taking? What are you passing on? What's going on here?
I just seen it. That's it. You don't like the bet, but you're just going to put me in position, keep me on track. I like it all, Ashley.
Oh.
So you can take all of that we put together, and it was a team effort. JP did the research and said, B, I'm telling you, B, here's some things that you need to look at. So I look at it, say, JP, these are actually really good. Did a little research. I said, man, damn, Patrick Mahomes going against the worst defense in the NFL, going off of last year. It's a whole new year. They got new people, new scheme potentially, right? New ways. They did pretty good on the back end. But they giving up 26 points and they giving up a lot of yardage, Keon. So, Ashley, I like it all. So, you can take all of that.
Okay.
Put that back up there, please.
Put the graphic back up there. There we go.
Prop bets to watch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, this could be a 5-leg parlay. So, if I put 25, see, here's how it works, Ashley. If I put 25 or 50 bucks down, something I can afford. This one, Ashley was like, bro, okay, we got it. Okay, we got to move on. But this is what I was trying to get to. Now I know my budget. I put 50 on all of these that hit. That 50 could turn into, and I don't know because we don't, I'm not pushing to any sports book, but that 50 can turn into 500 or 1,000, right? So I like them all. And you got to bet what you can bet and understand your budget. But I think all of these can hit because obviously we did the work and did the research. So I love it. But if I had to highlight a few others, right, like Patrick Mahomes, passing yards, to me that's a win. Jared Goff, the interceptions under in his last 9 games. I love that. The Kansas City Chiefs hitting the money line. I don't like that. And I know that's not up there because I really think the Lions, like that might be just another bet, like a $25, $50 bet for me. I might just take the Lions just to win, straight out.
Okay.
I like that.
All right.
Anything jump out to you? You want a little 25, a little 25, a little 50?
You are a pusher, sir.
You got a little 50? You got a little 50?
You are a pusher, sir. I am not going to go ahead and feed your addiction.
So there you go, guys. Here are our betting notes and our prop bets that we've identified as not for sure because it's gambling, and that's why Vegas always wins. Ashley hasn't gone to Vegas. She's never seen the big buildings.
Hold on a second.
And the big casinos.
I've been to Vegas as a kid.
So Ashley's never been to Vegas.
Yeah.
She hasn't been to Vegas.
I went I was older than 2, but last time I was in Vegas, Siegfried and Roy were there.
You went what?
Siegfried and Roy were there.
I don't even know what that is.
The Tigers, no. the two guys who had the Tiger show with the white tigers. You never heard of Siegfried and Roy, the white tigers, and one tiger attacked him? I was like 8. Yeah, the New York hotel, all that stuff.
September 30th, Ashley, get your outfits ready. There's a big fight, Canelo and Charlo. It's at the T-Mobile Center, and this is going to be your first. That's another big bet. That's one where it's like, I'll be honest with you, I can't go bet 100,000 right now. I gotta wait till about November, December. Y'all might see me throw 100,000 out there. So I'm sad because I don't have 100,000 to put on this fight, but it's a good thing for me. So Keon just asked me who do I have in the Canelo Charlo fight, September 30th in Vegas, and I'll get back to how we got into this because we got Ashley going for the first time.
So,
but I never go against the culture, but this is a big deal because it's Canelo, right? And I'm going with I do believe that Charlo can win it. But Canelo is probably the best fighter in boxing right now. So I'm glad I don't have 100,000 to give.
I just don't. When we're in Vegas, just make sure you don't lose me like The Hangover. You know, where they left him on the roof for the whole time. And they found him, and he was all dehydrated and stuff. If you lose me, it's gonna be a problem.
At first, I'm sitting here, I'm like, how can we do that? Like, I can't see that happening because you know how chill, you know, the environments we are. Like, we don't get too rowdy, you know, but we have a good time. You know, I've only been out in that like maybe four times. You know, I've been out with you or been in the same room with you outside of you know, work. But then I go back to the Super Bowl. Ashley was kind of having a good time in turn. So I was like, because I'm trying to envision, like, how will we lose Ashley?
What do you mean?
Like, how will we ever be in a situation where we lose Ashley and it gets too wild? But remember Keon, you were there, right?
Where were we?
We were at the Fanatics party.
Oh, Fanatics party was fun.
You had a good time, Ashley.
That was fun.
She was drinking.
Liv was there.
Yeah.
Liv was there. My friend Alexis Stoudemire pulled up. Yeah, it was fun. It was a good time.
So,
yeah, don't lose me and don't let anybody. Two things. Don't lose me and don't let anybody take me.
Right. Now because at first I'm like, damn,
don't
like,
let anybody
I don't see this
take
happening.
me. That's the real one. Don't let somebody kidnap me.
Ashley is so responsible. You know, Ashley's from New York, so she's seen everything. She raised by Mr. Jeff. Mr. Jeff did a great job. Did a great job. How can this be? But then the Fanatics party, you had a good time. You were responsible.
I am responsible, but like people,
but you had a good time.
I just don't want to be taken.
I just never seen you drink more than like 2 drinks before.
Someone will kidnap me.
I never seen you drink more than 2 drinks before. And your eyes were a little glossy that day.
Oh my God, no, they weren't. First of all, relax. I had sunglasses on most of the time anyway. I just don't want to get kidnapped. That's all.
Can you speak into the mic? I think you.
I don't want to get kidnapped. That's all.
You're not going to get kidnapped. You remember? I think Stack's going to be.
Oh yeah, Stack won't let me get kidnapped. You might lose me and let me get kidnapped. I could see that happening.
You can see.
Brandon turns his back. Someone goes, "Hey yo, B Marsh, what up?" Someone just comes and yanks me, throws me in their truck, and Keon's like, "Yo, where's Ashley? We gotta shoot this video real quick."
Keep it real.
Brandon's like, "I thought she was with you." Nagine's like, I thought she was with you. Now I'm gone and somebody's truck somewhere in Reno.
Keep it real, Ashley. The couple times we stepped out, have I not made sure that everybody good? You good,
yes,
Ashley?
Yes, but you are a man of the people. So if someone was going to kidnap me, you'd be the perfect person to kidnap me with because everyone's always pulling you and you go around, you start talking to people and you get distracted and then yank. Now I'm in the black truck. Blindfolded in the middle of the desert.
This is what happened at the Fanatics party. We had our own little section. You know, we there. Everybody's having a good time.
Brandon's doing his rounds.
I did my rounds, but she's in this nice little
Brandon
section.
got lost in the bathroom. Nagine had to go look for him to make sure he didn't get into any trouble.
True? Is this true?
Yes, Brandon.
For real?
Brandon, Keon and Nagine come to me. You go to the bathroom. Keon and Nagine come to me. He's like, where's Brandon? Have you seen Brandon? I said, he went to the bathroom. Nagine was like, that was like 15 minutes ago. I was like, I don't know. Maybe it's crowded. I got to go find them. I got to make sure something didn't happen. Like, I got to make sure he's not in trouble. They go do search and rescue in the bathroom. He almost already got into one fight that party. They think he's scrapping in the bathroom floor. He think he's scrapping in the bathroom floor. Like, we got to go rescue him from the bathroom. It was chaos.
I can't wait to tell that story.
That was one of the craziest things I've ever heard somebody say.
To tell that story? Yes. When are we going to?
I don't know when we can tell that story. That's a them question. I just thought it was funny that they went to go search and rescue from the bathroom.
That's when I knew Ashley was a real one. Boy, he walking down the red carpet, just something popped off real quick. Oh, whoa, what's going on right here? And Ashley was like, well, let's go in. Let's have a good time. Let me see.
I was like, shoot.
I was like, oh,
if ain't nobody gonna throw hands, then let's go party. Like,
Ashley real. She's like, everything okay? You good? I'm like, I'm good. We had a good time.
Yeah.
This is Ashley and I on the maybe can we send it to we don't
have enough time.
Can we send it to Woo? Or BC, see if he can put it in. No, it's good. This is Ashley. Your outfit was fly.
Thank you.
Your outfit was fly.
This was pre-Pilates, so I wasn't even.
Woo, you got to take it to
This
BC.
was pre-Pilates, so I wasn't even as toned as I am now.
Yeah.
Next year it's gonna be fun.
We walked the red carpet.
And,
you know what I'm saying? It's before we launch Paper Route. We about to show you this day.
We walked the red carpet and things
Ashley
transpired on the red carpet.
I'm jumped. No,
It went from Fanatics to World Star back to Fanatics. It was a very interesting dynamic. Keon's holding his camera, just like, Oh, man. Like, he's got his camera in his head, just looking around like, oh, my God. Nagin on her phone, like, oh, my God. I don't know what I'm going to do here. Like, it's just, it was fun. I have my friend Liv with me. Liv has no idea the dynamics of anything. Liv doesn't know the backstory of anything.
BC has it?
Liv is so confused. She doesn't know the backstory of anything. She's like, what is happening? What is going on? Like, is everything? She's just looking around like,
Liv was a real one, too, because Liv, that was her first time meeting me. And she's like, oh, let's go have a good time. Ashley's cool. Brandon's cool. We're cool.
My dad said I can't go to Vegas without him. He needs to watch me.
Hold on. Time out. Mr. Jeff. Mr. Jeff. You don't trust me, Mr. Jeff? You don't think
he wants to go to Vegas, too.
Oh, that's what
Double
it is.
The bodyguard.
He come.
Double the bodyguards.
He can come.
Yeah. He needs to watch me.
Mr. Jeff can come. Here's Ashley. We talked about this last week. I know we got a roll here, but we're going to show you this video, and that's how we're going to end the show of us walking the red carpet. Ashley looked fly. I may have been flyer. I'm just playing. You were flyer to me.
I just threw that together. We weren't even planning on going to play.
If it went down and I had 3 people jump on me, would you have jumped in and helped me, Ashley?
I would have like tried to like break it up, but like remember, you guys are drastically bigger than me, so I don't know how much help I would have been. But Keon would have jumped in.
Keon, you would have jumped in?
Keon definitely would have been able to hold his own. But like, what are Nagita and I gonna do? Like, we're like stop it, stop the butt. Like, what are we gonna do? Like, we're like both 5'7" and under. Like, what are we gonna do to actually stop what was transpiring?
Mr. Jeff, I'm telling you right now, your daughter is good with me in any environment because I'm like that. Y'all check my rap sheet.
Sometimes you cause in the chaos.
What 50 say? No, 50. What 50 said? 50 said. You know, see, everybody says like, you know, I'm the problem. I'm not the problem. They say, but if you say, you know, you got a problem, then we got a problem. We're gonna play that next week. But Mr. Jeff, you look, I'm sticking up for your daughter. But Ashley, we got to get this right. If something go down, I expect you to.
Let me get one right here.
That's the Fanatics.
Yes, that was a short one.
That was a short one.
I had my Dior do-rag on.
She had her Aaliyah vibe going on. You trying to be like Aaliyah?
Aaliyah's one of my inspos. I love her.
That's your inspo. There you go. Ashley, is that the end of the show?
My dad said I'm not allowed to fight. My face is my business.
That's right. But see, but you know how we move now? Mr. Jeff, let me tell you how we move now. And I had a friend that, you know, really been helping me like, you know, do you know who you are? You need to level up. Because I am a man of the people. The man of the people, meaning more so like, I'm not really friendly like that, but if people come up and want to take a picture, it's hard for me to say no or something like that, or they just want to chat. A lot of people give me advice, like, I love I Am Athlete, but I don't like this, or blah, 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 blah. So we have those conversations. But now, last time I went to Vegas, I had to move with security. So that's how we move now, Mr. Jeff, because, you know, I can be, like, if you know, if I have like 3-4 drinks, you know, I don't want to be you know, if you just moving through and somebody grab you, like people will grab you, and I'm like, man, what you touching me for? Now
and Keon got expensive cameras with him. It's gonna take him too long to put it down, find a safe spot for it, then get ready to fight. Like it's like camera fight. Like what do I do here?
2 Escalades and Floyd Mayweather bodyguards. That's how we moving, Mr. Jeff, in Vegas, and you're welcome to come. You're welcome to come, but we ain't talking no Cowboys.
Oh my God! Oh, I thought you were a Cowboys fan.
We can't talk in Vegas about the Cowboys. We love y'all. Thank y'all for rocking with us. This is Paper Route on SiriusXM Faction Talk, Channel 103, and YouTube. Ashley Nicole Moss, like she always says, ciao.
Football's back.